Welcome to Tai Chi. Everybody ready? Let's warm up. Hands at your waist, turn your neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stretch your neck. 1, 2, so just don't bob it up and down. Stretch it out as far as you can by pointing your chin out. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Expand your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Waist exercise. Interlock those fingers, but turn only at the hips and waist. Don't use your arms for leverage. Keep the arms closer to your head as you force your hips and waist to peek at the heel of the opposite foot. 8, 9, 10. Airplane. 1, 2, 3. Use your hips and waist and move them. 5, 6, bend. 8, 9, 10. Touch toe. Arch your back. Arch it again. 2, 3, 4. Go down with gravity. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your hips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Be careful. Shift your weight to the left foot. Good Tai Chi posture. Head straight up. Down 10 points all lined up. Kick your right foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kick your butt. 1, 2. Shift your weight clearly. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Heisman, opening up our span, parallel feet, choose the right side, cross and sit on that side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shift weight, cross. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Short one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good golden cockerel. Remember to create spirals with your both hands. Remembering to rotate on your axle as you favor one side. Be sure that your counterbalance hand is pushing down at the same time the other one is bringing it up. Just be aware, focus, okay? Focus on your danten point, okay? Opening up our span, shifting weight to the left. Here we go, golden cockerel. Push down, bring up. Make sure that the front hand is centering your body. The same amount of distance that you pull up is the same amount of distance you push down at the same time. Okay, synchronize your movements. Last set. Okay, kicking out. Semicircle, gather the energy, put it all on the left foot as your right hand is on the outside, right foot coming up, kick out right. Follow with your eyes, follow with your hands. Semicircle it, center it, follow it, left, left. Shoulders are never raised, even when you kick out. Think about that one. Never raised. Last set. Tuck the elbows in as you center yourself, then disperse that energy. Holding our ball on a T stance. Show me that you have energy stored. Root down, T stance, L stance, round the crotch, bow stance. Sit back, sit down on that imaginary stool. Twist step, root down, T stance, hold your ball, out and to the side. Move the energy, then flatten down as you finish your parting of the wild horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, pivot, root down, T and ball, L, move the energy. Then flatten your foot down as you make that rounding of the corner. Sit back, sit down, pivot, root down, T stance, out and to the side, L stance, O stance. While we're doing this, ask yourself, are your hands moving because your core and your mind is telling it to move? Or is it merely just moving alone? If it's just moving alone, you're not doing Tai Chi. Something that's in your core is directing along with your mind. Okay? Brush knee, set it up correctly. 3 things happen. What are they? Leave the hands there, power of the core, power of the mind, power of the hips and waist. Make that brush knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, set it up correctly, all together. There's your magic. So I am trying to prepare you for our lesson, which is heavily based on if your hands are set up correctly, the strength of your waist and hips allow your hands to go right where they want to, as long as you power your motion with your hips and your waist. Okay, this one's going to be a little different, so you're going to listen now, okay? Twist step. Set it up correctly, T stance. I want you to leave your hand once we are multitask, and I want you to just move it with your hips. L, move your hips, move your waist. All right, this one's going to be a little bit different. This time, you're not going to use your hips and waist. You're going to set it up, and you're just going to turn your hands and turn the other hand, and there you are. If you're like me and you did it wrong, your knee has some stress. Let's do it wrong again. We're taking away our hips and waist. We're making this a hand motion. 3 things happen. Ear, hand, heel. Use your hand to make that rotation. The knee should be very stressed. One more time. Set it up correctly. Multitask. Use your hands to turn that hips and waist. Okay? Put your hands down. Look at me. What's happened? My hips want to go this way, but my hand is this way. I need to turn my hips and waist. So that's the power of the hips and waist. Maybe was not as obvious, but here it is. We said we want to use our hips and waist to move our hands. We set it up. We multi, and we use our hands. We didn't use our hips and waist. It's not good Tai Chi. It's horrible, okay? Why is it horrible? I set my hands up. I take an L stance. Everything goes together, setting it up. Multi. Turn my hips and waist. Right? Big difference. Watch again. Set it up. Multitask. Leave my hand there. Turn my hips and waist. I turned it way too much. But what is directing my movement? My hips and my waist, right? Okay, so here we go. 2 or 3 times. Facing the clock wall, setting it up correctly. Step out on an L, multitask. Turn the hips and waist, leave the hands there. Set it up correctly again. Multi. Turn the hips and waist, do not move your hands. Now let me look at you. Yeah, perfect, perfect. Now look at your own feet and you tell me if it's that perfect. Uh-oh, what happened? Drag your foot back from the forward foot, drag it back. Is that where you want it? Fine if it is, but not fine if it's not supposed to be there. Okay, why isn't it supposed to be here? So watch what I'm going to do. This is what I asked you to do, and I asked you to turn the hips and waist, and you all faced me because you somehow used your hips and waist to power the hands that went for the ride. Now I'm looking at another element. When you ended, some of you had this spacing. I don't know how you did it and can continue to do it because it hurts your knee. It's impacting your joints of your knee. So why is this wrong? If I drag my front foot back, I hit my back foot. We know that we can't do that because we need that space in which to turn our hips and waist and turn our knees. So although some of you had the clearance I'm looking for, perhaps you can work on making it a little bit bigger, making that span a little bit bigger. for those of you who really clash, and I saw students who clash, they need to step out a little bit more. Okay. Ken's right, but what did he say? He said that when we take an L stance and then a bow stance, the hips and waist have to fully turn. They cannot stay here. They have to turn fully, okay? So that was just without hands, but could you see that if I set this up correctly and I only turn partially, hey, this is going to be a hand motion, right? But if I set it up correctly and I turn my hips and waist, the hands get there, I'm square to my front foot, okay? How many are following me and sort of understand, just out of curiosity? Yeah, so intake is important, but then you have to apply that. All right, so this is what today's lesson's going to be covering.
The way to avoid stepping forward is, again, you establish your substantial foot, and you have to be in a position where you're relatively stable. So if you happen to be here, you can put your foot any place you want to be, okay? If you're here, but if you just switch out and you all of a sudden go down, you haven't established this, and you're going to the next. And unless you're pretty good, you're not going to flip out over here. To get the time to flip out, you have to, you come from this position here, set, and then lift up the foot, and then decide where you're going to put it. But if you too quickly don't establish where you're at, and you know you got to be out here ultimately, you could be in the wrong place, and a lot of times the wrong place is the nearest place, because you don't have to spend that much time before you're going to be in imbalance. Versus if you wanted to be out here, you have to be able to have that fraction of a second to get the foot where you want it to be. So think about, before you move out, you say foot down, stuck to the ground, then you move, okay?
Okay, so clarification, then you move, but you know that move is only on the heel. Okay, so let me kind of clarify. So the reason why you want to store the energy on the back foot is because you want to create an optimal gravitational position. You're grounded, so you're safe. So only the weightless foot or insubstantial foot can then move. Like he said, any old place or anywhere you choose, because this is grounded. You're grounded on the back. You're grounded with gravity as well as storing that energy. When you put your L stance out here, your foot out into the side, the energy is still stored on the back foot. It cannot just all of a sudden go here and then decide, oh, she said hips and waist. Okay, so that's another error. You store your energy on the back foot. You set it up with the L stance. The energy's still here. If you came here, you should be able to lift my foot because the energy is still here, okay? The energy has to gravitate from the sole of your feet to your ankles, to your leg, to your knee, your thighs, your hips, your waist, your chest, your shoulder, and then down. It cannot decide, oh, it's at my sole, I need to plop it down and go here. Cannot do that. It has to grow within your system, not just stop here and then decide to go there. It has to grow through here, then come down. Okay? So this bears on Tai Chi walk. It bears on everything that we're going to learn in Yang 16 and Yang 24, but very different from the 10 forms. So we got to lay that platform and make sure we do it correctly. All right, I'm going to move you into Tai Chi walk now, okay? Because I think that you need many examples in which to apply what you understand or saw clearly, okay? But your job is to listen to the call and try to make that energy from the back foot move with you in an L stance, but through the system and not shortcut it, okay? And I'm not saying it's for beauty, but it's for safety of yourselves, okay? Safety of your joints, all right? So you're gonna come forward, you're not gonna cross the line, and you're going to plant yourself on a line that you normally are used to, and we're gonna come back to that line, okay? So kind of know where you are. So we're going to do Tai Chi walk forward, we're gonna turn around, and we're gonna go back home. And that will tell you whether, you know, something needs to be adjusted, okay? And I remember that you did a really good job last week. And the job was that Tai Chi walk has patterns. You zigzag, you do a straightaway, you do a zigzag, you do a straightaway, you do a zigzag, straightaway, zigzag, straightaway. But remember now, in between that, you have to sit back, sit down. Store that energy. Make this really insubstantial so that you can zigzag again. Zigzag. Shift your weight. Straight away. Energy still here, coming through the system. Mind says it's okay because now it's a straightaway. All right, so this is what we're going to practice. This time our hands are at our waist. Okay, you're on. Wherever you are, you know where home base is, okay? Good Tai Chi posture. You're dropping the shoulders in spite of the hands being at the waist. Okay, so put your shoulders up. That's wrong. Drop them down. This is Tai Chi posture. Here we go. Pivot with your right heel, zigzag. Firm down or weight down. Insubstantial foot is a straightaway or L stance. Energy grows from the sole of your foot up through the system, up through your shoulder, planted down, bow stance. We have to sit back, we have to sit down, we have to zigzag. The hips have to follow that zigzag foot. We're on an L. We're gonna move the energy and turn our hips and waist, go down. Bow stance. Straight away. Sit back, sit down. Zigzag out. Firm down. L, straight away. Turn your hips and waist. Bow stance. Sit back, sit down. Zigzag out. Shift your weight, firm down. L, turn the hips and waist, move that energy. Bow stance. Sit back, sit down, zigzag out, walk in that direction. L stance, turn the hips and waist, flatten down, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, zigzag, firm down. L, move that energy all across your system, come down, bow stance. Sit back. Sit down and keep your stance. Okay, keep your stance. Okay, so you're on a sit back, sit down now. Sit back, sit down. Okay, so sit back, sit down. That the right foot should be on a straightaway, okay? So self-correct. The right foot should be on a straightaway. And you're sitting back and sitting down. How do you do that? But the heel of that front foot has to be on its heel now, okay? Has to be on the heel, and you have to show me that you're lowering yourself. That is a sit back, sit down. All right. You're gonna stand up, and you're gonna turn towards the street. Keep that same position. We're gonna walk back home. Easy, walk back home. All right, here we go. Good Tai Chi posture, dropping those shoulders, hands on your waist. Pivot with your right foot, walk in that direction. Shift your weight there, keep it on the right. Step out on an L. Move the hips and waist, turn, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, zigzag out. Walk in that direction, heel out on a straightaway, turn the hips and waist, flatten down, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, zigzag out, shift your weight, heel out on an L, turn the hips and waist, flatten down, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, zigzag out with that left foot, heel on a straightaway of the right, turn the hips and waist, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, zigzag out with that right foot, shift your weight, left heel, turn the hips and waist, bow stance. One more, sit back, sit down, pivot, zigzag, shift your weight, set out your right heel, L, turn the hips and waist, bow. Sit back, sit down. All right, take your hands down and turn around and look at me. So more or less you got it, okay? I won't say it's perfect. Yeah, I know. So that's okay. We have a good start, okay? But just know that everybody needs to brush it up a little bit more. Some of you are good in that you turn your hips and waists. Others need a little bit work on the hips and waists. If you'd be very, very happy with Tai Chi if you can turn your hips and waists a little bit more. The only way to get it done a little bit more is to actually pump it, do it, keep on doing it. In our exercise, in your activities, if something's here and you need to move here, turn the hips and waists. Don't just go with your hands. Turn the hips and waists. That's a better, safer stance than just using your upper body, okay? So a lot of little things that we have to address, and one of the things is lifting our foot. So it's not just putting it here, but it's grounding down. This foot can do anything it wants to do, including going up. It has to lift and then come down, okay? And remember, this is the class where I said I didn't know how a cat walked. The cat lifts and then he slips down, okay? So that's another component. So just think about if you dragged your foot all the time. Hey, is that going to be insubstantial enough to make you safe? Probably not. But if you clearly know that you can lift and then advance, that's way better than shuffling, okay? All right. I had big aspirations for this class, for this lesson. I always have good aspirations for all my students, but I may be overshooting something. But good that we've brought it back down and tried to clean up some things. But I want you to remember, and I want to always remind you that your Tai Chi walk last week was really, really good. But it is still good, but there's still room for improvement because we are layering what you have set for your platform. Okay, but I can't give you all the refinement in the early stages like last week because you'd be overwhelmed with too many details. So you start with what you have, you build, and we can fix up as you go along. But I'm going to move on anyway, okay, because I know you like movement, you like movements for the 16. So this is what I'm going to do. We're going to move forward and learn maybe 4 or 5 movements of Yang 16. Yes, the priority is the sequence for you. Yes, the priority is making sure your upper body matches your lower body, which I'm not sure that's a priority for you, but it is for me. And thirdly, what we need to prioritize is being able to rotate on our axle and learn to sit back and sit down and matching our upper body with our lower body. So that's the stuff that I'm going to be looking for, okay? Or placing priority on. So essentially, this is how you're going to look, okay? You're going to start with I'm just going to run it through, okay? I'm just going to run it through first because I want to show you what I'm looking for. It's not a hand motion, so you're going to drop your shoulders, flex your knees, leave your hands there. The hands push down the water. I don't raise my shoulder, although I create a ball. I root down because I have energy. This is my T stance. This is my L stance. I move the energy. As I move the energy, I split my hands. My hands go for the ride as long as my hips and waist and mind are telling to do it. Once I'm fully made that circle, everything stops, okay? I sit back, I sit down. That's a straightaway, so this is my zigzag. I shift my weight, I center myself with a ball. I put out my heel on a straightaway. I turn my hips and waist, move that energy, and I part the wild horse's mane. And I'm not doing it slow motion, it's just that my hips and waist are saying, you don't have to go that fast. They're dictating the pace of my hands. Then in the 16 form, we're taking a half step. Half step is a balancing, so we're going to have to hold our ball. We're going to be a white crane that spreads its wings, and I really wanted to teach you how to do that. You're spinning your ball to the right because the left hand and the left foot takes the weight, and you see that right foot rocking to its toe because the weight is on the back. I bring it up. Here's an example of using your knees to bring it up, to reach, to place it out on its toe, and this is white crane. Okay? So we're going to do it maybe 2 times coming forward, and then we're going to break it down, and we're going to learn how to rotate that ball to become a white crane on the left side. Okay? Because I know that all of you are from the, or 99% of you are from the 10 form, okay? So we're at the clock wall. We have good Tai Chi posture. We're dropped our shoulders, thinking good thoughts, 50-50. Begin, commencing form, shift weight to the right. Heel comes up, on your toe, off the ground, open. Toe, arch, heel, rotate your hands. Take a deep breath in as you drop the water. Use your core. Flex your knees, drop your shoulders, hands go for the ride. T stance, don't raise your shoulders, hold your ball. L stance, turn the hips and waist, move the energy, let the hands go for the ride. Part the wild horse's mane, 1. Sit back, sit down, zigzag out, hold your ball for better balance. Step out on an L, move the bottom hand, part the wild horse's mane, 2. Half step forward, hold your ball. Spin your ball to the right, everybody have a right, spin the ball to the right, sit back on the back foot, lift the right foot up, set it on its toes, white crane spreads its wings. Okay, one more time, face the clock wall, stay where you are. T stance, let's just start with a ball on T stance, parting the wild horse's mane. Here we go, T stance. L, split the hands, turn the hips and waist, part the wild horse's mane, 1. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, hold your ball, step out on an L, move that energy, split the hands, part the wild horse's mane, 2. Okay, hands got there because the core said it got to get it there. Half step, hold your ball. Spin the ball to the right, rock the front foot, lift it off, white crane spreads its wings. Okay, hold your stance. Let me just check. Okay, good. So everybody's on the toe of the left foot, weight on the back of the right foot, left hand above your head, baby finger slicing through the edge of your right shoulder, weight on the back. Okay? All right, good. Go back. So far, so good. I don't really know how you got there, but you know how you got there. And it's not really exactly like I wanted, but we'll take it. But know that there is room for improvement in all the time, even for me, all the time, okay? So don't be just satisfied that you got to white crane in the opposite way, okay? All right, so this is what you did. This is what you did on a sideways. You went here, you went here, and watch to see that my hands are going for the ride, and it's only core related and mind related that's moving it with the hips and waist, doing the driving. This way now, okay? So what you're looking for is everything, but mainly how the hands get there. Okay, so you notice this front foot, it's fully extended, not this way, because if it's this way with a bent knee, more than likely you're going to have some weight there. So the point there, point with that toe so the weight is all on the back, okay? And I saw some of you kind of maybe experimenting with that. So how do you spin your ball, and how do you get that hand up there, and how do you get this hand down there? So when white crane spreads its wings, 1, 2, half step. So the right hand is on the top, and you're spinning the ball to the right, lifting and pointing. So how can we break that down? Okay, it's going to be awkward because I'm going to be this way, okay? So 1, 2, all right, so right foot forward, left foot on a 45 degrees, and you just spread part of the wild horse's mane too. Got it? Half step, hold your ball. Okay, you notice that my back foot still is on its toe, on the ball of the foot. As I spin the ball to the right, which is the right, as I spin the ball to the right, I'm going to sit back on my left foot. Rock my front foot, set it, bring it up, and set it down like this. Okay? So 1, 2, all right, here again. This is parting of the wild horse's mane. 2. Right hand forward, left hand holding the ball to the side of your pants. Bow stance. Half step forward, hold your ball. Spin the ball to the right, sit back on the left foot, rock the front foot to its toe, lift up the front foot, place it on its toe, white crane spreads its wings. Okay? Here we are, final parting of the wild horse's mane. Okay, I'm gonna bring this out because I don't want to get my knees bunged up. Half step forward, hold your ball, spin the ball to the right as you sit back on your back foot, lift the front foot off the ground, set it on its toes. Okay, one more time, you're gonna get good. Out, here. Half step. Spin, sit back. Rock the front, lift up. White crane. Okay, I'm gonna watch this time. White, parting the wild horse's mane. Half step, spin the ball to the right, rock the front, white crane. Okay, good, good. You gave me a start, you gave yourselves a start, okay? So there is quite a bit of balancing, especially when you have to lift up that front foot to place it back on its toes. How many feel that you're at least halfway there? Yeah, I think almost all of you are halfway there. It's that other 50%, 40% that you need to really get into, and you'll really enjoy what the accomplishment you can do and the power that you feel once you get to the wrong side of white crane spreads its wings. Okay, so let me teach you a little bit about how to get there a little bit better without flopping or feeling that you're going to fall, okay? So this may not be the right orientation for now, but you get to see what I do with my hands. You get to see what I do with my face, my body, my hips. Second parting of the wild horse's mane. Half step forward, hold my ball. As I spin the ball to the right, I sit back on my back foot, and weight is on the back. I can lift the heel of my front, put it on its toe. Just before I'm going to set, I lift up that front foot and I extend the knee, and I'm at white crane. So you probably said, well, why the heck do we have to rock this front foot? It's not only for appearance, but because you're draining that weight off of that foot to place it in the back. So let's see how we do that. Part one, fully extended, waist and hips moving. Sit back and lower. Pivot out on a zigzag. Ball for better balance. L. Turn the hips and waist. 2. Half step. Center with the ball. We're going to rotate the ball to the right. At the same time, sit back on our back foot. If I'm sitting back on my back foot, I should have no weight on the front, therefore it can come to the toe, therefore it can come up, and therefore it can sit this way. That's the reason, that's the premise and why this foot gets to rock to its toe, lift it up, and place it back on its toe. Okay, it's this motion. So you, on your toe, lift it up, and then put it back on its toe, okay? Let's try it one more time before we forget, okay? Any questions first, okay? So I think it's a matter of practicing, okay? So facing the clock wall on a T stance, holding your ball, left foot ready to go, left hand on the bottom hand advances. Good Tai Chi posture, lining up those dantian points. Holding your ball on a T stance, step out with your left heel on an L, move the ball, bottom hand advances, part the wild horse's mane. Use your hips and waist to get out to the full extent. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, ball for better balance, shift your weight, L stance, turn the hips and waist, bow stance. Final parting of the wild horse's mane. Half step forward, hold your ball. Spin your ball to the right, sit back on the back foot, lift, rock the front foot, lift it off the ground, point it out, white crane spreads its wings. Okay? Clock wall, holding your ball, T stance. L stance, part the wild horse's mane, bow stance. Use your hips and waist now. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, hold your ball for better balance, L stance, turn your hips and waist, bow stance. Half step forward, hold your ball, you're on your toe of your back, you're going to spin the ball to the right as you sit back on the back foot, rock the front foot to its toe, lift it off the ground, time it so that it's all done correctly at the same time. Okay, enough for one more time. And this time when you finally hold your white crane, I want to check it, okay? Hold your ball, left hand on the bottom, T stance, store that energy. Step out on an L, turn the hips and waist, fully to part the wild horse's mane. Here it is. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, roll for better balance, L stance, turn the hips and waist, bow stance. Half step forward, hold your ball, spin the ball to the right, sit back on the back foot, Lift up the heel, on the toe, off the ground, white crane, spreads its wing. And you're sinking now, sinking because you want to be in the most optimal position where the gravity is taking you down on your back or left foot. So you're set, you're stable. I could get there and give you a little nudge and you would hold your stance. Okay, good. All right, so I said good, but I'm not good. But in a way, yes, in a way, no, because you are following, you're trying to make your mind understand what you hear, understand what you see, and applying it to your body. Nobody else can do that for you, okay? That's the beauty of learning the discipline of Tai Chi. You learn more about your body, and you're in tune with what it can do for you, where the shortcomings are, and what you can do to counter them, to keep you safe, okay? So, agree? Yes? Yeah. All right. Any questions? Okay. So this is what I want to do, okay? I want to take it to the real side this way, but I want you to watch first, okay? Even though you can't see everything, I want you to see the whole picture in that everything we do in Tai Chi is not just a piece, a piece here, piece here, gluing all together. It's not that. It's not a little puzzle that needs to be put together, but it's a whole array of pieces that we see and do all together. All together. Head, hair, ear, everything about your body is always in play. So I take an example. When I say rock your front foot, it's not just to merely rock it like a rocking chair, but your body warrants it because you are placing all the weight on the back foot. So you got to get it off, the heel off, and then only put it on its toe eventually, okay? So watch for those kinds of things, okay? And I'm just teaching you off the top of my head, so whatever comes works. And then we always said the hands go for the ride, the power of the core, power flexing, never to raise your shoulders, fully extent of the hips and waist. Okay, one more version. Okay, ready to try? Just the way I did, okay? Good Tai Chi posture, commencing form. Drop that water using your core, using your mind. Hands go for the ride. Drop the shoulders, flex the knees, push down that water. Center, T and ball. L, turn the hips and waist, move that energy, split the hands, finish off your hips and waist turn. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, center with a ball, step out on a straightaway, move the energies, turn the hips and waist, final parting of the wild horse's mane. Half step forward, hold your ball, spin the ball to the right as you sit back on your back foot, rock the front foot up to its toe, lift it off the ground, set it up correctly. Drop the shoulders, energy on the left back foot. Good, come forward. Starting with T-step and a holding of the ball, drop the shoulders. Center your energy. Here we go. T stance, L stance, turn the hips and waist, set it up correctly. Hands go for the ride. Sit back, lower yourself. Pivot out, center with the ball. Straight away. Turn the hips and waist, move the energy. Final parting of the wild horse's mane. Half step forward. Hold your ball. Spin the ball to the right as you put all your energy to the back foot so you can lift up your heel, lift the toe up, and place it down. Fully extend your knee. So now at this position, the weight is all in the back foot. The toe, if I came by you, you should be able to lift it up for me, okay? So that's how strong your strength of the back foot is. Because next week, we're gonna drop the front foot. Follow me, drop the front foot, tuck the elbow in, bisect your body to your danten, cut it in half. Swirl back and look back at the backhand that's higher. Set it up correctly. You're on your toe. What are you gonna do? You're gonna brush knee. Lift up, toe down, brush your knee. Sit back, twist step, zigzag, set it up correctly. Heel, hand, ear, turn the hips and waist, brush knee, 2. We don't do a third one, but we sit back. We twist out as if we're gonna do another brush knee, but the left hand comes up, the right hand is fisted, it comes up, and the other one goes down. Swerve out to deflect, bring that arm in, then parry out the right hand, front hand, and then punch with the right. Strip the guy off of you, open your fingers, roll back, and turn your fist down to sit down. Spiral up, lunge forward. Okay, you wanna go on? You're gonna pivot on the back foot, then you're gonna pivot on the front foot, and then you're gonna hook your hand at this, right after that, okay, or in the process. Pivot the back foot, pivot the front foot, hook the right hand, T stance. What is after T? L stance. Turn the wrist, bow stance. Single whip. Want to go on? Yeah, I heard a yes. Half step forward. Swirl the back hand. Rock the front foot. Weight on the back. Play your lute on your heel. Want to go on? Repulsing of the monkey. Center the front hand, look at the back hand that's higher. Lift off the ground, ear, toe, heel, pivot on the ball of your foot, meet in the center, pull back, push forward. One more. Lead with the toe of the front, open, lift off the ground, ear, toe, heel, meet in the center as you pivot. Repulse monkey 2. Pivot your front foot. When you pirouette like a ballerina, you go to your toe of your right foot. You have an upside down ball. You're gonna kick out with your right heel and you're gonna make a correction of the ball. You're gonna come out with your left heel and Maiden's gonna shuttle on her right. Okay, and then we've done a lot more than we need to. But you know what? It's good. I can see that it can be fun, but at the same time, yes, it's a little bit of a work, okay? It taxes our mind. Then our mind says, how come my body can't do it? And then, you want to fix it up. So that's a good feeling to have, excellent feeling to have, because you're motivated, okay? So hang in there. I think you're doing really well. I think it's fun, so no stress, okay? But do some homework, okay? Okay, see you next time.